Next stand two mitred bishops, who in war forget their calling, venturing many a scar in prince's cause, yet must no bishop stray, but leave the board and keep the narrow way. John Wallis, The Royal Game of Chess Play, 1693. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about the bishops. Now, in the original game, Indian game, the bishop was represented by a war elephant. In the Middle Ages, however, the elephant was barely known in England. The most authoritarian clique next to the monarchy were the bishops. So as can be seen from the 12th century, bishops had established their place next to royalty in the center of the chessboard at a very early date. In other countries, the war elephant was transformed into different figures. In France, the fool; in Italy, the legionnaire; in Germany, the messenger; and in Austria, an officer. Now, the bishop benefits greatly when the rules were changed on the introduction of modern-day chess that we practice today. Now, previously, the bishop was restricted as a slow-moving piece, jumping over one square diagonally. Now, this jump was eventually eliminated, and the bishop was allowed to move along the full length of the diagonal in any direction. Obviously, doing something like this is greatly going to increase its influence on the game. The bishop has the same value as the knight. Its value is greater than that of the pawn, but smaller than that of the rook and the queen. At the beginning of the game, you start with two bishops. One bishop is on a dark-colored square, and one bishop is on a light-colored square. So if you look right over here, you're going to notice that we have our two bishops. I'm going to be referring to this bishop as the lemonade team or the lemonade bishop, and this would be the chocolate team or the chocolate bishop. Now, if you look closely at these bishops, you're going to notice a diagonal cut across its face head right over here. And for chocolate, a diagonal cut right over here. Now, that diagonal cut across its face head is going to give us a big clue as to how these bishops are able to move. So let's place them at their starting positions. And note that there would be a queen right over here, a king right over here, and on the other side, a king and a queen. And the bishops start directly right next to the king and queen when we start the game. You'll also notice that we have a bishop on a dark-colored square and a light-colored square. And on the other side, dark-colored or blue-colored square, light-colored square as well. Now, bishops move diagonally forward and diagonally backward, which is to say, this bishop can move right over here to b2 or a3. Likewise, he can move to any of these coordinates, diagonally forward. If I were to stop him here, chocolate would make a move, and he can move diagonally backwards. If we wanted to, obviously, we can move him all the way over here as well, and all the way backwards. Now, bishops cannot jump over any other pieces, so let's pretend that I have a white pawn, and I'm going to place this pawn at coordinate d3. It's going to be Lemonade's turn to move, and we would like to move our bishop on f1, and let's pretend we want our bishop to move to coordinate b5. Well, he's not going to be able to do so because of the pawn blocking its way. It would only be able to move to e2. Now, how do we get our pawn? How do we get our bishop to coordinate b5? Well, we would have to. Lemonade would actually have to move his pawn one space forward. Chocolate would make a move, and on the second move, he can move his pawn to b5. Okay, so keep that in mind. Bishops cannot jump over other pieces. Now, one thing to note is that many true beginners will make this mistake. I'll take this bishop off, so actually, let's leave him on. They'll go ahead and move the piece, and they'll notice, okay, it's on a dark-colored square, and then it's going to end up on a light-colored square. Now, that's going to be an illegal move, or they'll do something like this, and it just accidentally ends up on a light-colored square. Okay, and we can't have two bishops on two light-colored squares when we start the game. So one thing to pay attention to is whenever you're moving your bishop, always look at the color. If you know that it's on a dark-colored square, follow those dark-colored squares. So blue, he's on a blue square, blue square, blue square, blue square, blue square. Okay, and that will prevent us from making those serious errors, which we don't intend to make. And likewise, if this bishop were here, we can move him on a light-colored square. And then if we wanted to move him again, light-colored square, light-colored square, light-colored square, light-colored square. move right over here. So let's keep that in mind. Now bishops capture in the same way that they move, which is to say, let's do something like this. I'm going to place a pawn right here, and it's going to be Lemonade's turn to move, so he can go ahead and capture that pawn. Just to give you another example, let's go ahead and place a couple of pieces on the board. Okay, we're always going to want to think about the situation in chess as well. So in this example, he can capture a 1-point pawn, a 3-point knight, a 5-point rook, or a 9-point queen. And if I can find the other king, I'll just go ahead and place it here. So it's Lemonade's turn to move, and we're going to, the Lemonade team has decided to move this bishop to capture the 9-point queen. Very good move, great decision. It's attacking the king. Whenever you're attacking your opponent's king, you say the word check. Check simply means I'm attacking your king directly. You have one turn to figure out how to get him out of danger. If you're unable to figure out how to get him out of danger, I'm going to win this game. In this example, the chocolate king can either move here to b1 or to a2. He's chosen to move to a2. It's Lemonade's turn to move. This bishop should go all the way back and capture that 5-point rook. And together, queen is worth 9 points. A rook is worth 5 points. So within those moves, he's captured 14 points, which is really, really good. A great use of the bishop's powers and skills and abilities. So keep that in mind. Now, the last example I'm going to want to talk about is this. Let's imagine, I'll place that guy right over there, and now, whenever we're playing the game of chess, the object of chess is to get our opponent in checkmate. We're going to see if we can do this. It's Lemonade's turn to move, and he has chosen to move his bishop along the white colored squares and to stop right over here at coordinate E6. At E6, he's directly attacking the king, so we can see that right over here. And the chess player would say check, and again, check means I am attacking your king directly. You have one turn to figure out how to get him out of danger. If you are unable to figure out how to get him out of danger, I'm going to win this game. So let's see if we can get this king out of danger. Well, he can't move to d8 because he would be in check by the bishop on e7. He will not be able to move here to d7 because of the bishop. He will not be able to move here to c7 because kings can't be next to each other. Nor will he be able to move to b7. Kings can't be next to each other. This would actually be called a forced move. It's like Star Wars, using the Force. He doesn't want to move to b8, but he's forced to move to b8. And now it's Lemonade's turn to move. He moves right over here, directly attacking the king, and it's check again. He won't be able to move here. The bishop on coordinate e6 is guarding all of those diagonal white squares, nor will he be able to move here because of the bishop. Kings can't be next to each other. He will not be able to move to b7. He will not be able to move to a7. He's forced again to move to a8. Lemonade decides to move his bishop right over here to coordinate d5, saying check again. And we're going to see if we can get this king out of danger. He can't move to b8 because of the bishop on a d6, attacking diagonally. He will not be able to move to b7 because of the bishop, and kings can't be next to each other. Nor will he be able to move his king to a7. This check now becomes checkmate. Okay, now notice we have successfully, we have checkmate on the chocolate king without capturing the chocolate king. We've provided proof, we've provided evidence of this checkmate. Now, just to quickly recap, bishops are fast-moving pieces. They are worth 3 points if you capture them. They're slightly more points than the knight. We can actually say 3+ points, but just remember for you true beginners, 3 points. They move diagonally forward, diagonally backwards. They are not allowed to jump over other pieces, and they capture in the same way that they move. Now, if you have any further questions, please feel free to talk to your chess instructors, teachers, your chess masters as well. We'd love to hear all of your questions, and we're more than happy to help you with anything you have. Or else you can post your question onto this page. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the game of chess.